these are precarious times. These are trying times, times of your faith being tested, of your resilience being tested. And it all happened so fast all at once, right? Well, not really. Look how long Hamas planned this attack and the education that went into it. I mean, it's been bad parenting for a long, long time. But in different places in the world, you see also the ugly anti-Semitism arising. I mean, look at 300,000 strong anti-Israel marching through London, England on Armistice Day. That's the biggest demonstration England's capital has had since anti-Iraq war protests in 2003. But these are openly glorifying murder of Jewish people, calling for jihad from London to Gaza. And suddenly governments are saying, wow, we have got to have a robust law enforcement. We're going to have to bolster. We're going to have to think of how did these youth around the world, how are they falling into just this bad education and ending up on the wrong side of Genesis chapter 12 verse 3. And suddenly you see right now Hamas is wanting to extend the 4-day pause in the fighting in exchange for releasing additional Israeli hostages. And you see, it's so beautiful to see some of these reunited with their families, these Israeli citizen sons and daughters of Abraham, like Abigail Edan, reunited with her brother. And they were orphaned at the massacre on the 7th of October. And you have our chief of staff of the government, Herzi Halevi of the army. And he says, we're going to complete as soon as this humanitarian pause is over. We're going to continue the fight until Hamas is annihilated. And we're going to make sure that all of the abductees will be returned. And now here is Elon Musk at the scene of the crime where all of these atrocities happened by those terrorists on innocent men, women, and children in their houses on October the 7th. I had to see this with my own eyes. And now that Elon Musk is seeing this with his own eyes, I really, really hope he'll be able to speak out the truth to the world. A lot of people don't believe even that these things happened to us, and they happened. People burned alive, raped, killed, murdered, dismembered, babies killed in front of their parents, and every kind of grenade thrown, RPG shot. And now it's time to bring this to an end. And nothing will stop God's plans over Israel. It's right in the Bible. And Jerusalem would be a praise in the earth, and God is gathering the Jewish people home, and that's what the Aliyah Return Center is all about. That's what Aliyah is all about, helping them with the attachment, integration, culturalization, acclimation, integration, just to be absorbed in the land of promise. And I see that the Hamas will not stop that. This war will not stop these plans of God. And I love to see weddings. My sister got married, but there's this weddings that are happening on army bases here and there. I mean, where you'll decorate your Hummer and you'll be able to have a bunch of people donate some food and just get married. I think it's so beautiful because the future is coming. And when I turn to Ezekiel 39, I'm not looking at Gog and Magog, but I don't think that's yet. But even the Gog and Magog isn't the end of Israel either. God rescues us from that. People say, oh, Aliyah is the return of the Jewish people down there at the end of Ezekiel 39. And they say, well, what about Jacob's trouble? And I say, hey, God will rescue us from Jacob's trouble. It says it right there. The Gaza war is not going to stop. The plans of God over Israel. In you, Abraham, all the families of the earth will be blessed. Jerusalem will be a praise in the earth. All the nations are going to come here. Ezekiel 39, verse 27 through 29 says, when I have brought them back, the Jewish people back, from the peoples and gathered them out of the countries of their enemies, I will magnify myself in the sight of many nations. They will know that I am the Lord their God, because I sent them to exile among the nations and I gathered them into their own land. I will not leave any of them in exile any longer. I will no longer hide my face from them when I pour out my spirit on the house of Israel, declares the sovereign Lord. I just love that when you think of these times where anti-Semitism is spiking in such level. Is it 400% above normal? Anti-Semitism, it's such an evil thing. And you see that it talks about that in Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14 through 16, that there's going to be many hunters and many fishermen that will help Jewish people to come here. There's going to be a network of fishermen, but there's also going to be these hunters. And I almost wonder if this isn't that time. What do you think? Please tell me in the comments.
Thank you, Ali, our return session, for keeping us safe.
Hey, it's a pleasure. This is what we do.